Page 56, Remembering. On page 53, they're opening up a whole new world for us. They're giving us a new time signature. So let's talk about it, because it's really pretty common, but I still want to talk about it. At the top of page 53, they call it 6/8 meter. It sounds all fancy and everything. It's simply a 6/8 time signature. I don't know why they want to use the word meter, but that's up to them. I don't consider it meter any more than I would say 4/4 meter or 2/4 meter or anything else. It's simply a 6/8 time signature. If you understand how the numbers work, it doesn't matter what they are, you can figure out any time signature. In the past, the bottom number for us has always been a 4. So we've always been counting quarter notes. And the top number tells us how many of those quarter notes, or the same as those quarter notes, are in every measure, or how far to count. Well, in 6/8 time, it works the same way, except now the bottom number is 8, and that stands for eighth note. So now an eighth note gets a count, and there's the same as 6 of them in every measure. So you got to count to 6. You'll love it. And they give lots of examples. Generally, with 6/8 time, you got eighth notes running around all over everywhere. I mean, it might look really ugly, but when you remember that an eighth note gets a count, it's fine. At the bottom of page 53, they put in accents to indicate the natural accents. Because remember, we have natural accents in music. The first beat of a measure is always the strongest. And then sometimes there's another natural accent later on. The idea with natural accents is either you're feeling the music in 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, or you're feeling it in 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Those are your choices. And they can mix them all up. Well, in 6/8 time, most of the time, not always, most of the time, 6/8 time is felt in 2. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You think you're hearing triplets or something, and it's not. It's a 6/8 time. A lot of marches, the left, right, they're written in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're written in 6/8 time. Where you think they're playing triplets? No, it's 6/8 time. Now, I said most of the time because there are always exceptions, and you'll find occasionally a piece in 6/8 time that's actually felt in 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, but that's rare. Most of the time it's felt in 2. And it helps too when they beam them together. You see the eighth notes are beamed 3 at a time like a triplet. Well, that's again for convenience because generally you're feeling it in 2. So they're beaming them in 2. So you got 2 groups in a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's very common. They don't have to. They can beam them any way they want. It's just this usually makes it easier to understand the music. Now on pages 54, 55, they give you all kinds of examples of 6/8 time. You can go nuts over all of that if you want. On page 55, in the middle of the page, they give you that list. I don't like lists. If you want to mess with that, you go right ahead. In my mind, as long as you understand the relationship between the note values, it doesn't matter what they are. The list doesn't change any. It's the count values. How many counts does a note get? Because in 6/8 time, if an eighth note gets a count, then a quarter note gets 2 counts this time. Yeah, that's all. Also, it might help to remember that a dotted quarter note, remember the dotted notes? A dotted quarter note is always the same as 3/8 notes. Always. It doesn't matter what the time signature is. It's always the same as 3/8 notes. So if you can keep that in mind, when you see a dotted quarter note in 6/8 time, you know it's going to get 3 counts, which is handy because then a dotted half note is the whole measure. It gets 6 counts on a dotted half note. So let's look this remembering thing over and see what we got. It's 1 page long, treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. It's in the key of G major. Go do the G major scale. You know what to do, blah, okay. And it's 6/8 time. Let's take it 1 hand at a time. We're moving around a little bit. Right hand, it's 5th finger on the B. You're kind of in here, except you have a D in the second measure, so your thumb is actually here. And don't forget the F sharp, it's in the key signature. So it's 1, 2, remember the dotted quarter notes, the same as 3/8 notes, it gets 3 counts. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not a problem, I hope. Second line, In the first measure, during the rest, you come up, fourth finger on the C, and that's 4, 5, 6. And then going on, move up again, and then move up again. And then they want you to hear. Yuck. I don't want to go from here to here. Now, you can get away with it because of the phrasing, but again, when I learn a new piece of music, I like to connect everything. So I don't want to go from here to here. That's rather awkward. So I'm going to adjust the fingering a little bit. There's several different fingerings we could try, and they all work fine. You have to find one that you like or whatever. I'll give you options on this. I don't mean to make it overly complicated, but I want you to understand there's different ways of fingering things, and you need to try different things out. You ought to be able to do any of them, but try something out here. This is the end of the second line. I'm preparing to go to the third line. I'm going to go from here to here. So I'm going to avoid this. So I can, and the eighth notes at the end of the second line, rather than 4, I can do 5. Now the thumb can do it, and then I can come across with 3 or 4, either one, and then on the third line, first measure, on the second B, that needs to be fifth finger. What fingers you use for the first 2 notes, whatever, but that needs to be fifth finger. So if I go here, if I cross over here, 3, 5, that works. I could do that. I could also stay where I am at the end of the second line and just cross over third finger here. And then a 2, 5. Another way of doing it. You find a way that allows you to connect the notes. Okay, that's what we're after here. I'm going to go ahead and do a 1, and then I'm going to do a 3, 5. All right, so last line, fourth finger here. And then way up here on the C, and you should know that's a C. 2 ledger lines above treble clef. Just memorize it's a C. And then 1, 5. And then 1, 5 again. Not a lot we can do there. Just lift up and move. Okay. Left hand. Well, you're starting here and here. And you notice the G is got those curved lines. That means it's tied. You just hold it down. You just in 3 here. Hold the G down like so. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then for the second line, we just lift up and move down. I mean, there isn't a lot of hope here. We got to do this. Okay. So just move. And then come up again. And for the last measure, it's up to you on how you want to finger it. If you can, do a 2, 1. That throws your hand up here. But this way you're in position for the next line. If you can't do that, then you got to do that. 2, 3. I would not do a 4, 2 here because then I'm out of position for the next line. I got this note coming. So this, I'm a little closer to it. So the third line, then it's the same as the first. Last line, you're down here. Then we get treble clef. Now we're up here. And you can use a 2, 1 here. Use any fingers you want, but I do 2, 1 because it's closer to the notes I need in the next measure, which is down here. You put the hands together. You're here. See, that G is tied through the whole thing. Second line here. As I play one hand, I get the other up. And then going on. Now the last line. The last 2 measures, it's a G chord. It's just between, and then you come down. It's the same notes for the last measure, just down here. You're moving both hands. You may have to practice that because there's no rest. Just lift up and move. Once I have the hands sort of working together, then I go back through it slowly and get rid of the hesitations so it's a steady beat. Then I add the articulation, which is here the phrasing. Connect it. Well, if you were connecting it to begin with, that's fine. Now lift up. Lift up. It's like taking a breath. Now on the second line, I suggest you connect that whole second line together. I don't know why they've done this with every measure. I would connect the whole second line. Then you can lift up and move. Lift up. Lift up. And again, in the last line on these eighth notes, connect it all. Connect all of them. Now once you have the phrasing worked out, then try the dynamics. P for piano at the beginning, whatever you think soft is. This left hand needs to be in the background. Keep it out of the way. And the second line, you get the hairpins. You're going to swell up and back down. You're only going to go up to about a moderately soft to moderately loud. Don't get loud. If it's your soft at the beginning of the line, this is both hands here. Come up a little bit. Come back down to soft at the end of the line, and that's here. That's soft. This is very soft. And then you're soft like you were at the beginning. At the end, the very soft, that's both hands. Don't use the soft pedal. That's cheating now. You got to learn to do this with the hands. Very light, very little weight, gently. Try and get the notes down at the same time. As far as the speed goes, oh, here's that andantino thing again. A gentle stroll. And again, this is the overall feel of it. Well, 6/8 time has a problem with that. Because sometimes you're talking about the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most of the time you're talking about the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to feel those, which speeds up the beat quite a bit. So you'll have to experiment when you get a piece in 6/8 time on the speed and how fast does it feel. We want this to feel like a stroll, and that's... Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's not a stroll, but the feel of 1, 2, it's sort of a tug of war between the two. The 1, 2, the natural accents will speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, but the eighth notes want to slow it down a little bit. It's a blend between the two. How do you feel it? There is no one right answer as far as I'm concerned. So you play it as you feel it. Then they've added pedal. Don't know about that. I like it without pedal. And again, when you use pedal, use it for reasons. Understand why you're using pedal or don't use it. And if you don't need it, don't use it. We learn a piece without pedal first so we can hear everything. So we make sure the fingers are doing what they're supposed to do. So when you add pedal, you can hear the difference in the sound. Well, if we pedal it like they're showing, this is sort of what, and again, I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. I want to start the sound before I release the dampers, before I start the overtones. At the beginning, notes first, then pedal. And I'm going to lift it right after I play the notes on beat 4. Right there. I don't want to smear that. So it's down, lift up. I have to lift up with the hands at the end of the second measure because it's a phrase. I want to hear the phrase. Second line, I'm going to legato pedal this. I want to connect all this together. Here, change. Here. Frankly, I think it's better without pedal, but they seem to want to smear this. It's a different effect. Can you hear the difference in the sound, the effect? If I don't pedal it, or if I pedal it their way, or maybe I adjust the pedal a little bit and get rid of some of the smeariness. Maybe I lift the pedal up on the last eighth note of each of these three. They're in groups of three. Well, I'll just pedal 2. Lift up there. That clears it out a little bit. It's a different effect. There's no right or wrong here. It's different effects, different ways of interpreting the music. To keep this lesson simple, a little late for that, but okay. I'm going to go ahead and pedal it the way they're showing, except I'm going to legato pedal. It means I'm going to change the pedal between each measure. I'm not going to lift it up so you can hear any phrasing, because I want to connect the whole line together. And then at the end of the second line, you lift up with the hands so it's silence. And on the third line, on this measure, the first measure, no. Pedal this line the same way you did the first line. Don't change it. I don't want to smear. I don't want to remember that. So it's here. Lift up. Now. Again, lift up. I'm going to pedal it exactly the same. I see no reason to change it. Now, a lot of times in music, when we get the same kind of passage, like the first line is that, and the third line is the same thing, well, a lot of times they will change something so they're not completely identical, especially when it's the last time it appears in the piece. So in the third line, that may be the reason they're using a different pedaling. They're changing the pedaling. Because you can't change the notes. You want to change something, well, you can change the dynamics or something else, but we can change the pedaling. That may be why they want to do it. But I don't like blurriness. I don't like the blurry sound. So I'm recommending you pedal the third line the same as the first. And then on the last line, I'm legato pedaling it up to the third measure here. Then I'll lift up a little breath. It's a new phrase, like taking a breath. And then go ahead and connect this, change it. So they show a change pedal here. Okay. That's what I wanted to do all along. You see in the last line between the second and third measure, they show a change pedal. That's what I'm talking about. All across the second line, change pedal, that. And these eighth notes, then in the last two lines, I want to change pedal those two. Now, please don't copy me. That's just one way of doing it. You get into the music and you feel it and you make it yours. If you feel like getting a little louder and softer in other places, go for it. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'll play everything about the same. I'll pedal it like I suggested. And I'll give it 6 counts because there's 6 counts in a measure. So let's just try it together very slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, off.